Hello, and welcome to episode number 106 of WrestleRotica, the podcast that combines wrestling with erotica. This week we have one story to share with you. The first story is entitled Porn Wrestling Federation, Volume 6. Noelle Foley is looking to figure out her next career move, as she realizes she can't maintain her current job forever. She heads to a porn casting call to see if she has what it takes to make it in that industry. Without further ado, let's get to this week's story.
In early 2016, professional wrestling, and to be specific, sports entertainment giant WWE was in a crisis. Bad deals, lawsuits, falling ratings, and questionable booking decisions led to the world giant having to make tough decisions with personal and professional consequences. For a long time, the WWE had been a proudly PG-friendly company. But when they were approached with a very non-PG offer from a very XXX-rated business, they were left with little choice but to accept. The formation of the Porn Wrestling Federation was a joint wrestling and pornographic promotion based initially around the entire roster of WWE divas or female superstars, as they were rebranded as being sold to an established porn website and filmmaker who, working with the WWE, would create a weekly TV show of in-ring action for worldwide, in fitting with the general PG way of the rest of Raw and SmackDown's broadcasts. The PWF would also, however, create pornographic films and scenes starring the divas for sale, download and on-demand streaming through its adult-only website. The WWE would retain all the rights of the match-based programming and would receive part of the profits from both sides of the PWF's productions. As PWF grew in popularity, no guesses as to which side of the business was consistently making far more money than the other, so too did it start to expand with additional talents drawn from NXT and the global independent wrestling scene. The existing roster of WWE female superstars, however, were willing to show their sexual skill on camera, no matter their existing in-ring skills or credibility. In fact, there are even opportunities for those who had never even properly stepped foot into a ring to showcase their talents.
Porn Wrestling Federation presents WWE Network reality TV star and wrestling personality Noelle Foley.
Previously on Holy Foley.
In PWF casting tapings, Noelle Foley. The video opens up into what seems like an office setting, with a plant in one corner, a bookshelf against the wall at another, a chair, and a cleared off, sturdy looking desk. Currently seated is a very enjoyable sight for the eyes. The gorgeous blonde Noelle Foley, the daughter of hardcore legend and WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley. With her curvaceous body and pretty face, she has gained an online following through saucy social media snaps, and work as a hostess for Ringside Collectibles, and being part of the WWE Network reality TV show Holy Foley. She's dressed in nicely fitting jeans, and a short and tight, long sleeve top that's low cut to show off both cleavage and those large rounded tits that make the clothing strain. So, Noelle Foley, the voice of a man holding and operating the camera that's filming her, speaks. Welcome to the Porn Wrestling Federation casting. You're looking just wow! He states as he takes in all of her, as she on the chair at the other side of the desk. You're just fucking stunning. Why, thank you, Noelle says with a smile, not too fazed by his blunt remarks as she brushes her long hair back. So tell me, and all the viewers, Noelle, why do you want to start being in porn? He asked. Well, doing Holy Foley was fun and all that, she starts to explain. But trying to train to be a wrestler didn't work out. And I can't do hosting shows about action figures of WWE superstars all my life. So I figure, you know. She shrugs, making her large breasts jiggle slightly in the process. Why waste time getting beat up when you can get fucked on camera and make just as much, if not even more money? He again bluntly asked, the tone of his voice showing he's here to see how good she is in terms of being a potential porn starlet more than anything else. Yep, Foley says with a sexy laugh. I want to get fucked! Fucked and paid! I mean, watching the PWF stuff already? If those girls can do it, I just know I can. She states with a nod of her blonde-haired head. Is that so? The caster chuckles. Good to hear, because this is where I find out. And all those watching will find out if you do have what it takes. He pauses, moving as he stands up, and moves around the desk. So, let's see what you've got, Noelle. Let's get you out of those clothes, he instructs. Okay, here we go then, Noelle says, standing up and facing the camera. Reaching down, she lifts her top slowly upward, letting her large breasts bounce and jiggle once free from the restraint, as she doesn't even have a bra underneath. Her chest only just settles when she flips her hair back, dropping the top onto the chair and posing with a sly smirk for the viewing audience. Look at those fucking tits! Those are fantastic! The camera operator confirms the obvious, taking a long shot to capture those mounds before zooming back to take her all in. Don't stop there, baby! Turn around and show off what else you've got! Nodding, she turns around as instructed, unbuttoning before hooking the waistline of her jeans, before she slowly starts to pull them down, putting on a show with a little sway of the hips. Her tanned and rounded ass is exposed, to again show she hasn't got on any underwear. Fitting for this kind of casting she will be doing. She doesn't stop there, pushing the jeans down and showing off her completely shaved and tight-looking pussy, as she stays bent over, taking off her footwear before stripping out of her jeans. You like? Noelle asks with a grin, standing up and slowly turning around for a little twirl, to really show off that young, curvy body of hers. Like? How about you come over here and find out? He orders as he pans up and down over that stunning frame. A body is one thing, but I want to see. First of all, at least, I want to see how good you could suck some dick. Sounds good to me, Foley says as she steps towards him, her chest delightfully bouncing with each step, before she drops down to her knees in front of him, looking up through the lens of the camera at the stud she's co-starring with. This confirms that this casting is indeed done in the point of view style, so we will unlikely, if at all, actually see the identity of the man she's going to be sucking off. Reaching up, she unloops the belt with ease before hauling down his pants. She now discovers that she's not the only one who hasn't come to the casting without any underclothing on. The blonde lets out a gasp when his long and thick to match, and certainly more than fitting for a porn film, cock springs out and grazes her cheeks. Holy shit balls! She exclaims, but soon grins as she takes a hold of that already hardening cock, so she can start to stroke him off. This is huge! Bigger than that clown you call a boyfriend? He asks, already deliberately looking to get a reaction out of her. He knows the audience will enjoy. As if the sight of a busty naked blonde jerking off a big dick wouldn't be that already. Noelle narrows her eyes up at the camera for a moment, before gazing over that rod with a look of lust. Bigger? Way fucking bigger! She confirms with a laugh, licking her lips slightly, as she now holds his full, vast, rock-hard size. I think we all knew you'd be saying that. The stud behind the camera chuckles. But is it too big for you to handle? It's only going to be like this, or even bigger from here on out, you know. He adds as a challenge for her. Oh, I think I can handle this. She smirks up at him through the camera. Stroking his dick again, she brings it up to her lips, giving a little smooch to the head before a second, fuller kiss works over the head. Smirking for a moment, she teases her tongue at the head. A brief lick before she kisses again, while pumping away at that shaft. Like this? She asks, before those lips part and she takes his cock inside, causing the man behind the lens to groan out as she wraps those full, pouty lips around his tool. Groaning herself as she gets the first fill of the man meat, she pauses for a moment, letting her hand stroke off the rest of his thighs. It's not too teasingly long, though, before she lifts back upward, letting the head be seen as she pulls completely off in a slow, deliberate manner. Licking her lips, she lets her tongue slide across the top, working over the slit and then around the crown. All the while, her palm still pumps his rock-hard length as she continues the warming up. Come on! Stick it in your mouth, Noelle! The hunk getting to cast, this gorgeous blonde says, with the kind of husky tone that makes it clear it's not a request he's just making. Looking up, she doesn't verbally respond, but still lets her mouth do the talking, as she does open wide and again sinks down to now let those inches vanish into her mouth. Her lips properly wrap around his member this time, a filling more than enough along to get him groaning combined, with her hand still stroking off his length at the same time. Following the order, already like a good porno slut should, her mouth starts lifting back up with another controlled but smooth motion. This time she stops just an inch or so before reaching the bell end. Her hand still working over, just the lower portion, to just about where her mouth had sunk down to. No pulling off this time as she moves back to where she'd been, and repeats the motion now. A slurp being heard as she keeps her full lips pressed against his cock, belonging to a man she's only just met. Yet, minutes later, she's willingly, and a little too eagerly, sucking him off as she begins to bob her long-haired head along his pole. The beautiful model moans around his prick, her eyes locked up to gaze at the camera that's recording her whole face, as she moves up and down onto his cock, easily handing half of his impressive size when she pushes down onto him. She keeps one hand wrapped around his base, delivering steady strokes that are nicely timed to match the sucking action she's given to the top part of him. The other hand stays busy, making sure her hair stays away from her pretty facial features, so there's a clear view of this blowjob she's dishing out. Add into that the sight of her large rounded tits that are jiggling ever so slightly each time she delivers a bob to the head. Already the viewers getting this POV view of this oral sex are getting their money's worth. And there's still plenty more to come. And to come, for that matter. Fuck yeah! Suck that dick, baby! Ugh! The moans coming from the hunk filming the very blowjob he's getting confirm the clear skill and experience the Holy Fully reality TV show starlet has.
Don't get fucking smart with me!
Even with her steady bobs and the pleasure he's getting from her mouth, he's keeping the camera perfectly steady for that red-hot shot of the blonde sucking and stroking his cock over and over again. Come on, Noelle! Let's see you take some more of me into you. He instructs, his hand coming into shot as he pulls her hand off from away from his member. The hand of his then moves to the back of her blonde-haired head. The classic porn safeguard in case the debuting Skinflick starlet has second thoughts about how much of this big cock, already making her full lips stretch as it is, she can handle. Her response is muffled by all that thick dick in her oral hole. However, the still lusty look in her eyes and her lack of resistance at being pulled down further onto his fuck stick shows she's going with the sinful flow. Her eyes shoot wide open, however, when that fat cockhead connects with the back of her mouth. A loud gag and her hands going up to his thighs out of reflex. But he's already helping to lift her head back upwards, giving no time to compose herself as she is quickly introduced into sucking off the biggest cock she's ever taken in her young life. Ah! She gags again, lips fighting to stay pressed against his tool as she's half bobbing her head under her own power to keep him moaning as he enjoys her mouth. The other half is his hand, which only briefly lifts off from the back of her head, so he can now make sure her hair is brushed out of the way. The unrestricted view lets the camera record her saliva that now coats his cock when it pops out from those lips, as she draws her mouth away from his crotch. No doubt the splatter in her spit, being done each time she gags, is only adding to the sexy mess, along with the pleasure the still unidentified hunk is getting from her oral talents. Her saliva now covers her lips from the repeating grinding he's been doing against that prick, as she slurps away steadily on his thickness. Unseen right now, but there's no doubt, her spit is dripping down her chin too, as this bobbing goes on. Unsurprising, as each time she pushes down, she is made to gag when she takes in cock far deeper into her oral hole than not only has she even done before, but more than she thought she could ever take between those full, pouty lips. Fuck yeah! You're a great little cocksucker, Noelle, the caster says in what could easily be seen as a backhanded compliment.
You greaseball!
But perfectly fitting for this kind of filming. He moans, lifting his hand away after capturing more than an ample amount of evidence of what she can do. Noelle gives another couple of bobs of the head, but tellingly, just on the upper portion. No risk of gagging around his massive cock there. She lifts away, gasping loudly as she stares up at the camera. Holy shit! She exclaims with a laugh. Guess I've got to work on that or something. She says, her large chest heaving as she takes in air. You'll get plenty of practice on that, believe me, he says, stepping backward, but keeping her in the center of the shot he's filming. Hop up onto the desk, honey. Lay back on it and spread those legs for me. Okay. She nods, doing as ordered. She moves up to stand, then walks over towards the desk. In this casting office, a Danny hop up to rest her butt on the edge of the desk. She then leans back all the way. Her height is shown here as her shoulders and whole head are on the desk, with her butt just on the other edge. That's far from a problem, considering she indeed spreads eagle and shows off her delicious and already a little wet looking snatch. A sight the camera, of course, captures as the stud steps back in and moves close up to her. Let's see how much you can handle then, Noelle, he states, his free hand seen as she grips his cock by the base. Lining up, he moves it against her folds, with a single up and down rub, more than enough stimulation to make her gasp. That cry is heard off camera, though, with the attention right now down at the snatch, as he pushes his member in firmly to penetrate that stunning curvy body of the blonde model. Fuck yeah! He moans to confirm to the audience how good it feels, all ready to have his inches inside her wet snatch. Both his own skill at banging beautiful babes like her, and the lubrication from all her saliva coating his rod, allow him to not just go in nicely deep already, but begin pumping smoothly in and out of her. Oh! Oh, fuck! Oh, fuck! Noelle moans, staring across to between her own legs as she watches that thick and long cock she's been blowing on moments before now, working back and forth into another of her holes. Ah! Oh, fuck! She groans while feeling her pussy walls being made to stretch to accommodate the vast size she's being made to willingly take. She'd been wet down there before, getting up on sucking off this man she's only just met, but that the viewers will never get to see the identity of. Aww. However, taking him this way, actually getting fucked, was easily making her pussy noticeably more damper. That arousal was obvious both from her moans and those sexy, hard nipples topping her big breasts. Yeah! I fucking love, how tight this pussy feels. He again confirms, making sure the audience knows how red hot and pleasurable it is to be deep within the snatch of the daughter of a WWE Hall of Famer member. He rocks his hips back and forth, sending his pole straight forward into her folds before soon drawing back, letting the camera see her slickness now, covering his shaft. With one hand keeping the camera pointing down to record every increasingly shameless moment of his banging, he could easily use his other hand to grip or hold her. Instead, he's making sure there's no unnecessary distractions from the dirty action going on, so all the focus is on that tanned and curvy frame, jolting back and forth on the desk in front of him. Fuck! Ah! Oh! Fuck! The gorgeous hostess of Ringside Collectibles moans away as she takes this pumping. Her arms are resting out while on the other side of the desk, she's getting banged on. This leaves her tits to freely bounce erotically in time with the rocking her body, another very pleasing to the eye sight for the cameras to film. When the stud banging her pans up over that stunning frame of hers, fuck! She gasped, having to shake and toss her head back to get the hair out from her face. It unintentionally gives both her co-star and the viewers what they want. That clear shot of the shameless pleasure across her pretty facial features. For her, it's so she has no distractions herself, as she watches the hunk she's only just met have his full, wicked way with her tight and now wet snatch, with thrust after still and hard thrust. You like that, baby, huh? The co-star asked between moans, no doubt looking to film a verbal reaction from her, even though her moans already indicate her enjoyment of the pumping. It's just part of his job, on top of the multitasking he's already doing. He's looking to put on the best show possible, and get a top-notch performance out of the new to porn, but clearly not to taking a fucking starlet in front of him. Like how big, fucking cock feels, filling you up? He continues to thrust away, the slap of his skin hitting off of hers, sounding out every time he sends his hips forward to meet that curvaceous body. He's eagerly now plugging his balls deep every time with the shaft, and only drawing back a few inches so he can quickly repeat the motion. All the while, he's keeping the camera nice and steady to record every filthy moment of this casting Sexy's putting the sports entertainment personality through. Oh, yes! Oh, fuck! She gasps. The camera's recording her open mouth, moaning a look of pleasure, as the blonde continues to be made to jolt back and forth on the surface of the desk. Oh, fuck! You're, fucking filling me up! She admits, finding her head falling back as she lets out another long groan, brought about when her co-star gives a deliberately extra hard thrust to really send her tits bouncing away. There's plenty more to come for you, he says from behind the camera. He's using to record his cock as he pulls out of her snatch with a groan. Whether he means from just him in this session, or for her going forward in a new career path, remains to be seen. He keeps the camera focused on his freshly fucked pussy for a long moment. He pans slowly up her stunning body, to those rounded tits, and then to her sexy face as she stares at the camera. She soon smiles, giving a teasing lick of the lips to show she's ready for a whole lot more. From this site, there's a quick edit in the footage, fading from that shot to the next portion of this skin flick. The film continues just minutes later. The scene is still the same of the casting office, but now we're down on the floor, getting a look along the clearly, well-toned and perfectly suited for porn body of the still unknown male caster. We're also seeing Noelle fully, as she's facing the camera, squatting down over his thick cock with her hole, stunning frame on display from her huge rack down to that wet snatch. She's lowering herself down onto that already familiar cock, making them both moan out as she sinks slowly downward, not stopping until she reaches the base. She grips her own thick hips, letting herself grind down against his member for a moment as she gets accustomed to his vast size. Oh, fuck! Fuck! So fucking big! The blonde bombshell moans, her thoughts aloud, but is certainly giving the viewers an extra treat in doing so. Raising her body upward, she's carrying out the instructions, no doubt given by her caster during the break in the scene footage. She starts riding that big dick, letting her sexy, tanned, and toned body drop down sharply to the base, as a smack rings out as the two frames being filmed connect. Ah! Fuck! Oh! God! Oh! Shit! Oh! She groans out not just loudly, but without any hint of shame at all, as she now fucks the dick she'd previously had been sucking on, then had been pounding her just moments before. Tossing her long hair back, she's having a tough time deciding what she wants to focus on with the eyes the most. Half the time it's across the lens of the camera. She knows is recording every single moment of this sinful action as she bounces on the dick underneath her. The rest? It's down at the same shaft to get glimpses of his member, appearing from out of her snatch as she lifts up, before making him vanish up into herself the next moment as she drops fully down. Ugh! Fuck yeah, Noelle! Oh! Fucking ride that cock! The hunk getting to enjoy this wild ride rightly encourages her, moaning with every motion, regardless of upward or down in direction he gets from her. Not that from the steady bouncing that she's doing, she needs to be much further fuel to keep stuffing herself full with the biggest cock she'd ever seen before in her young life up until now.
Oh, yeah!
Ah! Fucking take it! Bounce that fucking pussy on my dick! Even his hands are out of sight, just letting her and that stunning body be the center of attention as she shifts herself up to just below the midway point on his pole before letting gravity do the rest of the work. In doing so, her huge tits are delightfully jiggling away in time with her stunning frame. Even her long blonde hair can be seen, swaying from the energetic motion she's using to take this dick in and out of herself, again and again. Oh, yeah! Oh, big fucking dick! The stunning daughter of the hardcore legend groans. She's certainly showing she's more than up for the hardcore action of a different XXX rated sort from how expertly timed and smoothly done her riding motion currently is. Again, she opts to use the flip of a hair to keep strands from her face, keeping her hands on her full thighs for support as she keeps a steady bouncing going to make both her and the stud she's giving this to moan out, ah! Oh, fuck! Oh, fuck! Fuck! She adds, sweat beginning to form across that curvy made-for-porn body of hers. The effects of this wild pace and the toll of the whole sexual encounter she's taken up to this point becoming clear. Despite that, she's showing no signs of intending to stop or even ease up. She's so shameless, enjoying the simple pleasure. She's even closing her eyes. Head slightly tilted, back while she keeps on bouncing away on the stiff prick of the hunk beneath her. Look at that! Fuck! That's the stuff right there! The experienced porn star, both taking this ride and filming every moment, points out the obvious. She's putting on an erotic display more expected of a seasoned skin-flicked actress than just one making her debut of on-film fucking. That's certainly no bad thing if his moans are anything to go by. And likewise to her. He's more than ready in more ways than one to keep this going for a whole lot longer. Ah! Ah, shit, yeah! You ain't gonna be... Ah! Short of working this business, babe. He adds, giving another somewhat backhanded compliment. He continues to keep the camera perfectly still to film her whole gorgeous body as she shifts up and down sharply on this meaty rot she's willingly and eagerly impelling herself on, time and time again. Each time she drops down and takes him to the hilt, that loud slap rings out to further confirm that their desirable bodies have connected. Add in both their loud moaning. It takes a more than simply stimulating treat for both watching eyes and listening ears. Ah! Oh, fuck! Oh! Oh! Fuck! The WWE Network's reality series starlet gasps out, finally having to stop her riding motion. She pauses with her snatch right down against his crotch, leaning back as she gasps out unintentionally, sticking her large chest towards the camera as she catches her breath. Opening her eyes to gaze lustfully at the stud she's mounted on, she licks her lips as she reaches up to brush her hair back over her shoulders. I've never been with a guy who has lasted this fucking long with me, she shamelessly admits. If her words weren't a show enough, she puts on another. Shifting position so she can rest her knees on the floor either side of him, she starts to grind her pussy down against his crotch. It quickly has the desired effort as they both moan out, with even her breast shaking just a bit as she works herself against the still, rock hard dick all the way inside of her. Guess when you've been clowning around? In the past, it's not been for too long. The hunk operating the camera asks, with a kind of mocking tone that shows his words are meant to be actually answered, but just to take a shot at her boyfriend. Shut up! Noelle says with a laugh, but stays mounted on top of him. He's well, he's not on the same fucking league as this big dick.
That's for damn sure.
She admits again, glancing down between her legs when she speaks. No shit! Her co-star chuckles. And we ain't done yet with you, babe! He adds, still keeping the shot on her stunning body for a long moment. On that image, we again see an edit in the film into the next part of this porn casting.
Action!
The next shot shows the action still within the confines of the office. We're, however, once again back at the desk. But this time Noelle is bent over forwards over it, with her thick and juicy ass sticking out towards the camera.
Booty!
Her legs are spread as any good porno whore should be. Her hair has been tossed back over to one side, allowing her to look back over the other shoulder at the stud operating the camera. He moves back up close to her, the free hand similar to before guiding his shaft into her pussy for a slow but not deliberately teasing penetration. Once all the way inside her, though, the pace changes instantly, placing a hand on her thigh to grip. He draws his hip sharply back before slamming his cock home into her snatch. The busty blonde has barely time to squeal out before he's already repeating the action. The thrusts this time are rapid, dominated and so hard, they make her rounded ass cheeks jiggle, widely each time his crotch slaps off of them. There is no teasing or grace period to let her adjust to the feeling now. This was raw sex, with the purpose of using her, on top of showing the watching world how well she can be used. A mere glimpse of what her career in porn will look like from this. Casting start off. Oh, fuck! Oh! Oh, fuck! Fuck! She yelled out in delight, eyes wide open and mouth hanging ajar, as she gazed back in both lust and all of the pounding she was now taking. Her hands were forward, gripping onto the edge of the desk. She was once again being taken on, but now at an extremely more intense and in turn more pleasurable pace than before. Oh, fuck! Fuck! Yes! Fucking... fucking pound me! Ah! She begged, her breast squashed against the surface of the furniture, but so caught up in this desire, she had no time to worry about the grinding of her nipples against the desk. She shifted back and forth, pushing her backside to meet those powerful bumps, driving balls deep into her. Her snatch was already, at this point, more than just well fucked from the previous testing positions.
Oh my god.
Yet even with this full and deep stuffing, her wet vaginal walls were still nicely snug around that meaty fuck stick, being rammed in and out of her. Behind her the punk pounded, his cock in and out of her snatch, just grunted and moaned as he took the stunning young model. His hips worked with a machine-like drive, perfectly timed and forceful as he showed off his obvious experience in on-camera fucking. A sharp stinging slap sounded out each time. His shaft slammed straight into her slick and snug pussy. All the while he kept the camera steady to record it all. From directly down his crotch to see his cock vanish and then reappear from out of her pussy, to up his sweat-covered body to film her beautiful moaning for more face. Then back down to witness her juicy booty shaking in time with the still thrust in and out of her soaking twat for a fucking she might not forget, but would soon be experiencing plenty more of her future of porn shoots. Ah! Oh god! Fuck! Oh, fuck me! Fuck me! Fuck me! Fuck me! She squealed out in delight, eyes becoming glazed over from the pleasure as she took it from behind. Such was the intensity of this pounding, unlike anything she's ever experienced before, that it all too easily sent her moaning over the edge as she came. Not just orgasming, but unleashing such an amount of juices that the squelch of the fluids trying to seep out as they met that still pumping cock was clearly picked up by the camera. Ah! 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 Fuck! Oh, fuck! She panted for air, head nearly slumped against the desk she was being fucked over, even before her sexual high had properly subsided. All the while, the relentless motion into her dripping hole never stopped, making her ride out every moaning moment of the most powerful orgasm of her young life so far. That resulted in the recording camera getting even more of her jiggling curves as her body was made to rock forward when the hunk stuffing her slammed that cock balls deep into her tunnel. God damn! Came, like a fucking dam just burst. The hunk who impressively lasted himself to keep fucking her during her orgasm commented. With a groan of his own, he pulled out of her snatch, filming himself to show off her juices dripping off his cock, then shifted down to show that rounded ass still sticking out, along with those wet folds of her well-fucked and left open now pussy. Yeah, you'll be seeing much more of this in the future, he added with a chuckle, before moving back upward, letting the camera take in all of the stunning body of the still worn-out beauty laying across the casting office desk. This image would be a fine finish enough for this porno, but there's one more scene to come, as there's another edit to the footage.
Action!
Back to the film moments later, but yet still again in the same setting of the office. Now, though, Noelle is down on her knees on the floor, her blonde hair back behind the shoulders, and her sweat-covered face looking right up to the camera expectantly. The reason why is clear from the way the free hand of the caster is currently pumping away at his big cock, looking for not just release, but the classic money shot. A suitable end for an already red-hot, top-quality piece of porn footage. He moans as he throbs in his own grasp. Soon enough, the first blast fires across her pretty face, making her close her eyes as the first shot goes across the forehead and up to her blonde hair. The next lands downward, onto the chest, and over the eye, before the third splatters the nose as she shifts his aim. He keeps pumping away, making sure to distribute his thick and sizable load as evenly across her facial features as he can manage. Showing further his experience in the business, he's able to do that wonderfully, leaving her cheeks, nose, lips, chin, and forehead with generous amounts of his spunk. The shots that stain her hair and eyebrow just add to the sinful sight fitting for porn. It's all finally topped off when he wipes the final drops of his jizz against her cheek as he strokes off with the last couple of slow pumps. Fuck yeah! Look at that! The spent stud comments with approval, getting that clear open shot of the cum-covered face of the woman he'd been fucking deeply and hard over the course of this casting session. Fucking work of art! Noelle groans as she opens her clear eye to look up to the camera. So, think I'm ready for the real deal now?
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters, no.
She asks with a kind of sexy smile that shows she already knows what his answer will be. Shit, you call that not the real deal? He questions, his own chuckle after showing he gets exactly what she was meaning. You know what I mean, he replies as she reaches up to brush back her hair. Oh, fuck! You got it in my fucking hair! You dick! Foley states with a laugh, showing after all she's taken, that's hardly an issue now. Hey, you wanted a taste of a porn shot, and you got it. He states, keeping the camera recording her and her face full of cum. That I did! And by holy Foley, do I want some more of it now? Noelle adds with a smirk. It's with that stunning image of the blonde bombshell and the spunk beginning to slowly drip down her face that the film fades to black, drawing another fine Porn Wrestling Federation production to a close. The end. Thank you for listening to episode 106 of WrestleRotica. We hope that you enjoyed this week's story. If you enjoyed this week's story, please be sure to like, review, and subscribe to us in iTunes. Visit us elsewhere online, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and as always, our official website, WrestleRoticapod.com. Thank you and have a good week.